Hi everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. My project today is a gift box that opens like this. I used the Cheerful Basket stamp bundle, the stamp set and the full basket dies. If you buy them together you get a 10% discount. The box measures 4 this way by 3.5 this way by 1 1/4 at the base. Okay, so it was fun. Inside, I just have a bottle of our glue, but as you can see, you can fit a whole bunch more. Probably not 2 bottles of glue because it gets kind of smaller at the top, but you could probably fit glue and some treats or anything. That's just to give you an idea of what will fit in here. But I thought this was a very cute fall kind of project because on the east end of Long Island, we are in apple picking season already. So what we need for this project, before I go into that, this is my host code for August. If you're going to place an order under $150, please put this in and I can send everybody a little embellishment or something. Okay, so we need some basic white to stamp the apples. We need a piece of the Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper that is 11 by 8 1/4. So you don't have to make this out of Designer Series paper. You can make it out of cardstock and then mat it on the front and back if you want to. But I wanted to do a little something with, since this is a large pack of DSP. It's 48 sheets, I think. Yes, it's 48 sheets, so we have a lot of this. So I really wanted to do something with the yellow, and which is, I believe, so saffron, and the red, which looks so cute together, I think, especially with the gingham and the ribbon. All right, so again, this is 11 by 8 1/4. And then, now you can stamp this basket and just color it in. I decided to use the dies for the basket and color in the apples. Now, there are also apple dies, which of course we put in here. I'm going to do a little something different with the apples. I use the larger leaves on these, and next time I'm not going to do that. But you could fill the basket with some of those on the top if you don't want to do the stamping on that. Okay, so we need this, which is actually the outline. This is how I do it. This is the actual die that cuts out the basket if you stamp it. But what we're going to do to this is just trim about 1/8 of an inch off of each side. And this is what makes the basket look full on the bottom. See, because if we just had the gingham showing through, to me it would be funny. But what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to stamp the apples on this piece and maybe color in the green so that maybe it's a little bit different. Doesn't just look like red through it. So we need a piece that is this die here. It's the structure of the basket out of soft suede. And then there's 3 pieces that are in one die of crumb cake right here that are the side things of the basket. And we need the handle, which is out of Smokey Slate. And then I need 2 circles. This circle here is from Stylish Shapes because it has the dots on it, and this one is from Layering Circle Dies. You could do whatever circles you want. The one from Stylish Shapes is about 1 1/4, and the one from Layering Circles about 1 3/8. Okay, and then we need 3 apples. So I cut 3 apples, and then the die to cut these little stem and leaves is a 2, so I cut 4 of them. We only need 3, but I figured I'd keep it just in case I lose one. All right, so those are all the little pieces we need. Get everything out of the way. All right, so let's start with our piece of DSP, which is Designer Series paper, thinner than cardstock. Okay, and we're going to start on the 11-inch side, and we're going to score at 1/2, 4 1/2, 5 3/4, and 9 3/4. Then we're going to turn it to the 8 1/4 side, and we're going to score at 1 1/4 and at 4 3/4. Okay, now we're going to fold and burnish. Okay, so how I have it placed is the skinniest rectangle is on the left hand side, and then there is a 1 1/4 inch strip on the bottom and on the right hand side. And this is what we're going to do. Okay, I'm going to take off these 2 rectangles here and all of this, and then we're just going to make our tabs and leave our rectangle straight. All right, so we're going to start on the lower left, and we're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and then wedge up into this skinny rectangle. Go to the next score line, cut it straight to the first score line, next score line, straight to the first score line, and then we're going to wedge each side of the square in the middle. Okay. Go to the next score line, cut it straight to the first score line, and wedge each side of the square here. Okay, so that's the one side. And we're going to turn it 180 so that the skinniest rectangle is on the right, and the 1 1/2 inch strips are on the top and the left hand side. And this is what we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to get rid of 1, 2, 3 pieces here and this piece over there. Okay, so we're going to go to the 1, 2, the third score line and cut it up to the first score line we come to, and then get rid of all of this. And these are nice size pieces, so you should be able to use these for matting on a different project. Okay, then we're going to go to the other side of this. This is our top flap, and we're going to cut it to the first score line and then wedge up into what's left of the skinny rectangle. Right, and then the last thing we're going to cut on this is this top flap here. We're going to round each side of the corners. Okay, and this is what your cardstock should look like after you're done cutting it and scoring it. And I always put a picture of this on my blog, which is linked below. Okay, now we're going to get our tear and tape, and we're going to put it on what's left of the skinny rectangle close to the score line. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to get the edges, the backing off, and then I'm going to roll back any edges that are sticking over. I'm going to turn it over to the wrong side, flip over the part with the tape, and flip the other side to meet it. Okay, now this is our back. So we're going to put the sides in and the back, and this is where we want the rest of our tear and tape. Has to be one at the edge. You can put one inside if you want to also. This would be the perfect little box for a little keychain or a little handkerchief or fabric kind of gift. Or one of the fruit pies, apple fruit pie, lollipops. All right, and now I'm just going to push in the edges of the top to meet, and it goes pretty nicely in. See that? And that's your basic box. Not too bad. Pretty easy, right? I bet you could do multiples of these very quickly. All right, now let's put this aside and we'll do some stamping. Alright, so we need our piece of basic white, and we're using the apples image, which is right here, and some Tuxedo Black ink. And I'm just going to stamp it down, just like that. Okay, now I'm going to use the apple die to cut it out, just like that, and I'll put some tape to hold it, and I'll be right back. Okay, I only used 4 colors for this. I used black, dark and light, real red, and dark and light Mossy Meadow. So first, let's do the Mossy Meadow, and I just used the dark to just kind of trace the bottom and the side of the leaves. And then I just filled in the rest with the light Mossy Meadow. Okay. And for the light and dark real red, I took the dark real red, and wherever I thought there would be shadow, I just filled in with dark real red. Basically just where all the apples meet each other, there's going to be a little bit of darkness. And where the leaves meet the apples. All right, and then I'm just going to blend it out with light real red. Okay, and that's it on the coloring. Alrighty. Okay, now we need our silicone mat or your scrap paper. And first we'll put our box together. Our basket, sorry. Oh, you know what? First, I forgot. I wanted to stamp on this, so we're going to take some scrap. And I'm going to just stamp the apples on it a little bit. Maybe I'll flip it over and do it that way. Okay, it's totally unnecessary because it's really, it's just a representation. But then I'm going to take the light Mossy Meadow and I'm just going to fill in the leaves. Okay, and remember this is the full basket die, the stamped image one, and I just cut a little bit off of each edge so that it wouldn't show up outside of this. But see, I like that better. You can see a little bit of something other than just red. So I'm glad I did that. Okay, so now we need our silicone mat. And what I'm going to do is just take liquid glue, and I'm just going to go around the edges of this and stick this on it. Just trying to make sure nothing sticks over the edges and shows to the front. Okay, now we need our strips. All right, so this one here goes, it sticks a little bit off the top. Okay, that's the longest one. I have it stuck a little bit off the top. And then the one here goes in the middle, and this one goes right on the bottom. And I just stuck them on with liquid glue also. Alrighty, I have a baby wipe. Most of the time it's it might darken my cardstock a little bit, but I like to get that extra glue off. It usually comes back, as long as you don't hold it there long, it comes back the regular color. Okay. And now we need to put on this piece, which is a little more challenging. This goes, it kind of hangs off the edge on either side of the top, very top. Okay, just like that. So I'm just going to try to put a little bit of glue on here, the best I can, because it's very delicate, so I didn't really want to do the stamping of glue, stamp glue on it. I didn't want to bend it up. All right, and then we just put it up towards the top, and you probably are going to have to move it a little bit because a little bit hangs off each side of the top. Okay. Alrighty. And then we take our oops, I bent it. Darn it. There we go. And then I just took our apples and I just put it right underneath right here. Okay. So I just put, actually I put it, the glue right on the back here. And then I just placed my apples on it and just give it a little press. All right, and then we're going to just let that dry a minute. And while we're doing that, let's stamp our sentiment, which is from the same stamp set, Inspired by You. And I'm going to use Tuxedo Black Ink again, and this is a circle from the layering circle, Stylish Shapes dies. That is 1 1/4 inch. Okay. And then we're going to put it on this from the layering circle dies out of Real Red. It is 1 3/8. This was So Saffron. There would be a lot less gluing if you just stamped it, but I think it looks so cute when you piece it together like that. All right, now for the inside. On the first one, if you can tell, I forgot that I had to put a Velcro dot. So I put 3 apples and I had to peel one up. So you have to remember how you're going to tie it. Now I put the ribbon only around the front, the flap. It's kind of hard to get it to stay if you go around the hole this way, but if you go around this way, it will, if you don't want to do the Velcro dots. And this is a 5/8 inch Velcro dot. So first let's do the ribbon. And I'm using the black and white gingham. And what I did was I wound it around here. It's kind of hard to keep tight, so you want it basically right at the top. So I flipped this up, and what I did is I put the knot exactly where I wanted it to be, just like that. Make sure that it's not pulling too tight or too loose on this. And then I grabbed a glue dot, and you might take your pick tool. And I got a glue dot off. And I just put it right under that knot so that it would hold it nice and tight for me, just like that. And then it was much easier for me to tie the bow without it slipping and getting loose. There we go. Much nicer experience than struggling with it so many times to get it to stay taut right here. All right, and then I'm just gonna clip it off. Okay, oh, maybe this one goes this way. Okay, and then it'll stay there. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna put our adhesive Velcro dot on. These are the low profile ones, and they are usually found in the sewing section. They're 5/8 inch, the ones I'm using today. And I'm going to put one on, and then I'm going to put one on top of it with the adhesive facing out. And just make sure you put your box together straight, and then gently pull it off, and then you can reinforce them when you open it. Okay. Now we need the mat again for all our little pet bits. So I'm only going to be putting 2 apples on here. So I'm going to use the sticky end of my Take Your Pick tool. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. I'm going to put them the right way and then pick it up and then just get a little bit of glue on it and pop it down where you want it. You could just put 1 if you want to. Put a little bit of glue on it. Put the next one on. And then we're going to deal with these little guys. Put this one here. Oops. Good. Like that. And then we want the one that goes the other way. They give you 2 kinds on the die. I bet you could just flip them around too. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to put this one like that. Okay. Then we had an extra die and apple and 2 extra leaves. Alrighty. Okay, so that's the inside. Alright, now for the outside, I'm going to use some dimensionals. I'm going to put 3 up there and 1 down there. Alright, and I'm just going to center this in the middle. The top apple will kind of go over the ribbon a little bit. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to put a dimensional on this side and liquid glue on this side of our sentiment on the back. So we'll put a little bit of liquid glue and 1 dimensional over here. I'm just going to put this right on the side of our basket. Just like that. Okay. Alrighty. And now, for the final touch, I'm going to be using some matte black dots. And I'm going to put a small one up over here on this apple, and a large and a small one down here. Just like that. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this little fall apple project. If you have any questions, my email is below. Also the link to my shop where you can purchase these products, and also the link to my blog, which has all of the measurements on it. You can also join Stampin' Up! During Celebration, which is only a couple more weeks, and you can get a free planner along with the $125 worth of products for $99 plus free shipping. And also, if you spend $50 or more during the rest of Celebration, I'm offering a 48 pack of 6x6 paper of the Celebrate Everything DSP. Okay, it's usually, you can get it with your Stampin' Rewards when you spend $150 or more, but I'm going to lessen that to $50 for the 6x6 pages, just to give everybody a chance at it. All right. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye.